The distress beacon pulsed weakly to the black void of space, barely a whisper against the cosmic static. Kale Draven almost missed it. "Captain, you seeing this?" Dr. Mira Chen's voice crackled through the comm from a bridge of the wandering star. "Unidentified escape pod, bearing 273. Looks fresh." Kale adjusted the scanner array, his callous fingers dancing across the controls with practiced ease. 5 years of salvage work in the Outer Rim had taught him to trust his instincts, and right now, every instinct screamed that this wasn't ordinary space debris. "Life signs?" he asked, already maneuvering the ship closer. "Faint. Whatever's, and there won't last long without help." 20 minutes later, Kale stood in the cargo bay, watching the scarred metallic pod hiss open. Emergency foam spilled across the floor, and then he saw her. She was magnificent and terrifying in equal measure. Her skin was a deep, vibrant purple that seemed to shimmer under the cargo lights, marked with silver scars that told stories of countless battles. Long, dark hair, matted with dried blood, fell across her angular face. But what stopped Kale's breath were her eyes, brilliant amber, burning with defiance even as her body slumped in the containment restraints. "Step back," she rasped, her voice like gravel and silk. "Let me go." Kale raised empty palms, keeping his distance. "Easy. I'm not your enemy. You're human." She spat the word like a curse, struggling against the energy cuffs that bound her wrists and ankles. The restraints hummed ominously, clearly military grade. "Which makes you exactly my enemy." "Those are Terran Alliance restraints," Mira observed from the doorway, her medical scanner already active. "Military. What did you do?" The alien woman laughed bitterly, the sound cutting through the sterile air. "I refuse to die." Kale studied her more carefully now. Beneath the defiance, he saw the tremor in her limbs, the way she favored her left side. Purple blood, darker than her skin, seeped through improvised bandages wrapped around her torso. "Mira, get the med kit." "Kale, now." The alien's amber eyes fixed on him with predatory intensity. "Why would you help me? Your kind has been hunting mine for decades." "Maybe I'm not like my kind," Kale said quietly, stepping closer despite every survival instinct warning him to keep his distance. He'd seen enough cruelty in his years running from his own past. Whatever she'd escaped from, she'd paid a heavy price. "What's your name?" She hesitated, something flickering across her exotic features. Surprise, perhaps, or the faintest shadow of hope quickly suppressed. "Zephyra, of the Valorian warrior clans." Her chin lifted proudly despite her circumstances. "Now let me go. They're coming for me, and anyone caught harboring me will be executed." "Then I guess we'd better get moving." Kale reached for the restraint controls. "You fool," Zephyr breathed, but he caught something else in her voice now. Something that sounded almost like relief. "You have no idea what you're involving yourself in." Kale met her burning gaze as the restraints deactivated with sharp click. "Then I guess you'd better tell me." As Zephyr slumped forward, Kale caught her, feeling the heat radiating from her purple skin, the surprising lightness of her warrior's frame. She looked up at him, amber eyes searching his face with an intensity that made his pulse quicken. "Kale!" Myra's urgent voice cut through the moment. "I'm picking up military signatures. 3 ships, closing fast. They're tracking something." Zephyr's expression hardened. "They're tracking me. I told you, let me go. Take an escape pod to the nearest station and abandon this ship. It's your only chance." But Kale was already lifting her, carrying her toward the medical bay, his jaw set with determination that surprised even himself. "No one gets left behind. Not on my ship." The wandering star shuddered as Kale pushed the engines past their safety limits, diving toward the dense asteroid field that had been a salvation more than once. Behind them, 3 military cruisers maintained pursuit, their weapon systems lighting up his sensors like angry hornets. "They're hailing us," Mira called from the bridge. "Commander Thorne of the Terran Alliance. He's demanding we surrender the fugitive. Tell him we're experiencing communication difficulties," Kale replied, helping Zephyra onto the medical bay's examination table. She hissed in pain but refused to show weakness, her purple skin gleaming with perspiration. That won't buy us much time. Mira appeared in the doorway, her medical scanner already whirring. Kale, this is insane. We're salvagers, not freedom fighters. Zephyra's amber eyes flicked between them. She's right. I appreciate the gesture, but you should save yourselves. My fight isn't yours. Too late for that. Kale stripped away the makeshift bandages, revealing deep lacerations across Zephyr's ribs. The purple skin around the wounds had turned almost black. What did they do to you? For a moment, Zephyr's warrior mask cracked. They wanted information. About my people, about our technology. Her voice dropped to barely a whisper. About the archive. Mira began treating the wounds, her hands steady despite the ship's violent maneuvering. The archive? I've heard rumors. The Valorian Consciousness Repository. It's more than rumors. Zephyr gripped the edge of the table as Mira worked. It's real, and I'm the last person alive who knows its coordinates. My entire clan was slaughtered to prevent that knowledge from spreading. Kale felt something twist in his chest. He knew about loss, about being the last one left. That's why they're so desperate. The Alliance wants to weaponize it, turn our ancestors' wisdom into a tool for control. Zephyr's eyes blazed with fury and grief. I'd rather die than let that happen. An explosion rocked the ship. Alarm screamed. They're firing. Mira grabbed the wall for balance. Kale, they're not trying to disable us. They're trying to destroy us. They'd rather kill me than let me escape again, Zephyr said grimly, struggling to sit up. I told you. Hold on. Kale sprinted for bridge, his mind racing through possibilities. The asteroid field was their only chance, but threading through it at high speed was suicide. Unless he dropped into the captain's chair, fingers flying across the controls. Mira, get up here and take weapons. Zephyr, can you move? I'm not helpless. The alien warrior appeared in the doorway, one arm wrapped around her ribs, the other gripping a plasma pistol she'd somehow acquired from his armory. Despite her injuries, she moved with lethal grace. Good, because I need you on shields. Kale pointed to the engineering station. There's a cave system in the largest asteroid. Coordinates coming up now. We're going to hide in there, but the entrance is barely wide enough. I need you to modulate the shields to collapse them the instant we're through. Zephyr stared at him. That's insane. The slightest miscalculation, and we'll be smeared across the rock face. You got a better idea? Their eyes met, and something electric passed between them. Understanding, trust, and something else Kale didn't have time to name. Zephyr's lips curved into the first genuine smile he'd seen from her, fierce and beautiful. I like your style, human. She slid into the engineering station with fluid precision. Let's give them something to remember. The next 3 minutes were pure chaos. Kale flew like his life depended on it, because it did, weaving between asteroids while military pulse cannons tore through space around them. Mira returned fire, her shots precise and calculated, exploiting every weakness in the cruiser's formation. And Zephyr was magnificent, her warrior instincts perfectly in sync with his piloting, calling out threats before his sensors even registered them. There! Kale spotted the cave entrance, a dark slash in the asteroid surface. 30 seconds. They're locking missiles. Myra's voice pitched high with fear. I see them. Zephyr's fingers danced across the shield controls, her purple skin glowing with concentration. Hold steady, Kale. Trust me. He did. Impossibly, inexplicably, he trusted this alien warrior he'd known for less than an hour. Kale aimed the wandering star straight at the cave mouth, the asteroid surface rushing toward them at terrifying speed. Now! Zephyr shouted. The shields collapsed just as they pierced the cave entrance. The ship scraped along the narrow opening, metal screaming against stone, and then they were through, plunging into darkness. Behind them, the missiles impacted the asteroid surface, causing a cascade of debris that sealed the entrance. Silence fell, broken only by their ragged breathing and the ship's groaning hull. We're alive! Mira breathed in disbelief. Kale turned to find Zephyr watching him, those amber eyes luminous in the dim emergency lighting. She was breathing hard, One hand pressed her injured side, but she looked at him with something that might have been admiration. "That was incredible flying," she said softly. "That was incredible shielding," he replied. They stared at each other, the adrenaline of their escape transforming into something else entirely. Kale became acutely aware of how close she was, how her purple skin seemed to glow in the shadows, how her lips parted slightly as she caught her breath. "We should probably patch that hull breach," Mira said pointedly, breaking the moment, but she was smiling as she left the bridge. Zephyr pushed herself up, wincing. Kale was there instantly, his hand on her elbow to steady her. The contact sent a jolt through him. Her skin was warm, almost hot, and incredibly soft despite her warrior nature. "Thank you," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, "for not letting me go." "Like I said," Kale replied, his thumb unconsciously stroking her purple skin, "no one gets left behind." 3 days in the asteroid cave had forced an intimacy between them that went beyond necessity. The wandering star needed repairs, which meant working in close quarters, brushing past each other in narrow corridors, sharing meals in the cramped galley. Kale found himself hyper-aware of Zephyr's presence. The way she moved, the melodic lilt of her accent when she spoke of Eloria, the vulnerability she showed only in unguarded moments. "You're staring again," Zephyr said without looking up from the shield generator she was repairing. Her purple fingers worked with surprising delicacy among the intricate circuitry. Kale didn't deny it, just wondering how a warrior ends up knowing advanced starship engineering. We're not all just fighters. She glanced at him, amusement dancing in her amber eyes. "Though I excel at that too. I've noticed." Kale handed her the plasma torch she'd been reaching for, their fingers brushing. Neither pulled away quickly. "Your people, what were they like before?" Zephyr's expression softened with memory and pain. "Beautiful, fierce. We believed in honor, in protecting the weak, in preserving knowledge for future generations. The archive wasn't just data. It was a living memory of thousands of years, the wisdom of elders, the dreams of children. Everything we were." Her voice cracked. "Everything will never be again." Kale understood that grief intimately. "My family died in a mining accident when I was 19. Except it wasn't an accident. The company knew the shafts were unsafe. They just didn't care enough to fix them. He'd never told anyone that, not even Mira. I've been running ever since. Figure if I kept moving, the anger couldn't catch me." Zephyr set down her tools and turned to face him fully. "Did it work?" "No." He met her gaze. "But maybe I was running towards something instead of away from it. Maybe I just didn't know it until now." The air between them charged with electricity. Zephyr's hand rose slowly, hesitantly, until her purple fingers traced the line of his jaw. Her touch was gentle, questioning. "This is complicated," she whispered. "I specialize in complicated." Before they could close the distance, Myra's voice crackled through the comm. "Hate to interrupt, but we've got a problem. I'm picking up chatter on the Alliance frequencies. Commander Thorne has pulled back most of his fleet, but he's positioning them around Crixus Station." Kale pulled up the star chart. Crixus was the nearest trading outpost, their only realistic option for supplies and fuel. "He's setting a trap." "Obviously." Zephyr studied the display, her tactical mind already working. "He knows we can't stay here forever. We need to refuel, and Crixus is our only option within 3 jumps." "So we don't go to Crixus," Mira suggested. "We have to." Kale pointed to their fuel reserves. "We've got maybe 4 days of life support at current consumption. We go to Crixus, or we die here." Zephyr's lips curved into that fierce smile again. "Then we go to Crixus. But we do it smart." The trading station hung in space like a mechanical flower, its docking pedals extended to receive ships of all configurations. Kale guided the wandering star toward the commercial section, their transponder broadcasting a false identity Mira had cobbled together. "Remember," Zephyr said, adjusting the holographic disguise projector wrapped around her wrist. The device shimmered, replacing her distinctive purple skin with a more common bronze complexion, her amber eyes shifting to brown. "I'm Elena Torres, your cargo specialist. We're here for routine resupply." "I still don't like this," Mira muttered, monitoring the sensor arrays. Thorn's ships are everywhere. That's why it'll work. Kale brought them in smooth and easy, nothing suspicious. We're hiding in plain sight. They docked without incident. But Kale felt the tension thrumming through his body as they descended into the station's marketplace. The air hummed with 1,000 conversations in 12 languages, merchants hawking everything from legitimate trade goods to black market weapons. Zephyr stayed close to his side, playing her role perfectly, but he could see the predatory awareness in her disguised eyes. They were halfway to the fuel depot when Kale spotted them, Alliance soldiers, checking identification at the main thoroughfare. "Don't react," Zephyr breathed. "Keep walking." But then Commander Thorn himself stepped into view, his cold eyes scanning the crowd with methodical precision. He was tall, sharp-featured, with the kind of face that enjoyed giving orders and watching people suffer. "There." Zephyr's hand closed on Kale's arm, pulling him toward a side corridor. "This way." They moved quickly but not frantically, blending with the crowd. Kale's heart hammered as they ducked into a maintenance access tunnel, Mira close behind. The sound of boots echoed. Soldiers, coming closer. "They've locked down the docking bays," Mira hissed, checking her scanner. "We're trapped." Zephyr deactivated her disguise, purple skin gleaming in the dim light. "Not trapped. Cornered. There's a difference." She pulled 2 plasma pistols from hidden holsters. Time to remind them why they fear Valorian warriors. Kale woke to an empty bed, his hand reaching across cold sheets where Zephyr's warmth had been only hours before. Something was wrong. He felt it in his gut even before he saw the note on his terminal, written in her elegant script. "I'm sorry. This is the only way to keep you safe. Don't follow me. Z." "No." Kale was on his feet instantly, pulling on clothes as he sprinted toward the cargo bay. "Mira." "Where's Zephyra?" The scientist appeared from the bridge, her face grave. "I tried to stop her, Kale. She's prepping the shuttle. She says she's leaving." He found her in the cargo bay, loading supplies into the small escape shuttle with efficient mechanical movements. She didn't turn when he entered, but her shoulders tensed. "You were just going to leave?" His voice came out harsher than intended, hurt making it sharp. "After everything?" "Especially after everything." Zephyr finally faced him, and he saw tears tracking down her purple cheeks. "Don't you understand? Every moment I stay, I'm painting a target on your back. Thorn will never stop hunting me. He'll kill you, kill Mira, destroy everyone I care about to get to me." "So you care about me?" Kale stepped closer. "Then trust me, make my own choices." "It's not about trust." Her voice broke. "It's about survival. I've already lost everyone I loved once. I won't. I can't watch it happen again. Then don't watch it alone." Kale closed the distance between them, his hands gentle on her shoulders. "Let me help you. Let us help you. Whatever you're carrying, you don't have to carry it by yourself." Zephyr's resistance wavered. "The archive, it's not just coordinates. It's in here." She pressed her hand to her chest. "The Valorian elders, when they knew the clan was doomed, they encoded the entire archive into my DNA. Every memory, every piece of knowledge, every soul that ever lived in our culture. I'm not just protecting information, Kale. I'm protecting thousands of lives, thousands of years of existence." The magnitude of it stunned him. "You're carrying an entire civilization inside you, and it's killing me." She laughed bitterly. "The human body wasn't meant to hold this much data. My Valorian physiology can handle it, but not forever. Eventually, it will overwhelm my neural pathways, and I'll die. But before that happens, I need to get to Valoria, to the receptor site where I can download everything and preserve my people's legacy." "How long?" Kale asked quietly. "Months. Maybe a year if I'm lucky." She touched his face tenderly. "Don't you see? I'm already dying. I won't let you die with me." "Captain." Myra's urgent voice crackled through the comm. "We've got a problem." My deep scan of Zephyr's injuries. "Kale, there's a tracker. A bio-tracker embedded in her tissue. That's how Thorn keeps finding us." The blood drained from Zephyr's face. "No, they must have implanted it during the interrogations. I never even felt it. Which means, Kale began. The ship shuddered violently, alarm shrieking. Explosions bloomed across their starboard side. They're here, Mira shouted. 3 ships, maybe more. They just dropped out of hyperspace right on top of us. Kale and Zephyr ran for the bridge, their personal crisis instantly secondary to survival. Through the viewport, Alliance cruisers surrounded them, weapons hot and ready. Commander Thorne's face appeared on the main screen, cold satisfaction in his eyes. End of the line, Draven. Power down your engines and prepare to be boarded. Resist and I'll blow you into atoms. We need to jump, Mira said frantically. Now! Shields are too damaged. Kale read the diagnostics with sinking dread. We'd tear apart in hyperspace. Zephyr was already at the weapons console. Then we fight. Against 3 military cruisers? Myra's voice pitched high with fear. That's suicide. Better than surrender. Zephyr's amber eyes met Kale's. I won't let them take me alive. I won't let them have the archive. Kale's mind raced through impossible scenarios, each one ending in death or capture. They were outgunned, outmaneuvered, out of options. Unless there might be another way. He pulled up a star chart. There's a nebula 12 light seconds from here, dense enough to hide in, but the radiation will fry our systems if we stay too long. We don't have enough power to reach it, Mira protested. We will if we redirect everything. Life support, artificial gravity, weapons, shields. Everything goes to engines for one massive burn. We'll be defenseless, Zephyr said. They'll destroy us before we get halfway there. Kale smiled grimly. Not if you can buy us 30 seconds with the weapons we have left. Their eyes locked, understanding passing between them. It was insane, impossible, and their only chance. Do it, Zephyr said. The next 30 seconds stretched into eternity. Kale rerouted every ounce of power to the engines, the ship groaning under the strain. Zephyr unleashed everything they had, missiles, plasma cannons, even the emergency flares, creating a brilliant, chaotic light show that momentarily blinded the Alliance sensors. And Mira worked miracles with their damaged systems, keeping them from flying apart as they accelerated impossibly fast. They were 10 light seconds away when the first Alliance shots found them. 9 light seconds, and the hull breach alarm screamed. 8 light seconds, and Mira called out that they were losing structural integrity. Then everything went wrong at once. A plasma bolt punched through their weakened shields, tearing into the engineering section. The explosion threw Kale from his chair, his head cracking against the console. Blood filled his vision, warm and copper-tasting. Through the ringing in his ears, he heard Zephyr screaming his name. Kale! She was there, her purple hands pressing against the gash in his side he hadn't even realized he'd sustained. Stay with me. Please, stay with me. The nebula, he managed through gritted teeth. Did we make it? We're here. We're safe. Tears streamed down her face. But you're not. Kale, there's so much blood. Mira appeared beside them, her medical scanner painting her face with harsh red light. His liver's lacerated, maybe worse. I don't have equipment for this. He needs a trauma center, and he needs it now. The tracker, Kale gasped, fighting to stay conscious. Remove it from Zephyr before they follow US. Forget the tracker. Zephyr's voice broke. You're dying. If you don't remove it, I died for nothing. Each word cost him more strength than he had. Please, Zephyr, finish this. Through dimming vision, he saw her war with herself, love against duty, heart against survival. Finally, she nodded, kissing his forehead with trembling lips. Mira, remove the tracker. I'll keep him alive. Zephyr, if he needs surgery. I said I'll keep him alive. Something fierce and ancient burned in Zephyr's amber eyes. My people have healing techniques your science doesn't understand, but it will cost me. She didn't wait for permission. Placing both hands over Kale's worst wound, Zephyr closed her eyes and began to chant in a language that predated human civilization. Her purple skin began to glow, soft at first, then brighter, brilliant enough to paint the entire bridge in violet light. Kale felt warmth flooding through him, knitting torn tissue, mending broken vessels. But he also felt something else, a connection forming between them, deeper than touch, deeper than thought. Zephyra's presence filled his mind, her memories bleeding into his, her pain becoming his pain. He saw Valoria through her eyes, saw her clan burning, saw the archive being entrusted to her in a ceremony of terrible beauty. And he understood. She wasn't just healing him. She was bonding them, linking their life forces in a way that was irreversible. "Zephyra, no," he tried to say, but couldn't find his voice. "You'll die faster." "I know." Her mental voice was soft, accepting. "But you'll live, and that's all that matters." The light faded. Zephyra slumped against him, utterly exhausted, her purple skin now pale and drained. But Kale's wounds had closed, the pain receding to a distant ache. Mira stared at them both in shock, the removed tracker still pulsing in her forceps. "What did you do?" "I saved him." Zephyra's voice was barely a whisper. "And bound us together. Where one goes, the other follows. If he dies, I die. If I die, I die." Kale finished, understanding flooding through him along with 1,000 other realizations. He could feel her now, her heartbeat syncing with his, her emotions echoing in his chest. "You sacrificed your independence to save me." "No." She managed a weak smile. "I chose you. There's a difference." Kale woke in the medical bay, his body surprisingly free of pain. The bond with Zephyra hummed beneath his skin like a second heartbeat, and through it, he could feel her nearby, exhausted, worried, but alive. She sat beside his bed, her purple hand wrapped around his, her amber eyes watching him with an expression that made his chest ache. "How long was I out?" he asked. 6 hours. Your body needed time to adapt to the bond." She squeezed his hand gently. "How do you feel?" "Like I can feel everything you're feeling. Your fear, your determination, your—" He paused, a slow smile spreading across his face. "Your love." Zephyr's cheeks darkened with a blush. "The bond doesn't lie. I'm sorry you're stuck with me now." "Sorry." Kale sat up, pulling her close. "I've never been less sorry about anything in my life." They kissed, soft and tender, the bond between them amplifying every sensation until Kale felt he might drown in the intensity of it. When they separated, both breathing hard, Zephyr rested her forehead against his. "We destroyed Thorn's tracker," she murmured. "Spaced it with enough debris to make it look like we died in the nebula. We're free. I can take an escape pod, lead them away from you." "Stop." Kale cupped her face in his hands. "We've been through this. I'm not letting you go. Especially not now that we're bonded. We finish this together or not at all." Kale's right. Mira appeared in the doorway, tablet in hand. "Besides, I've been analyzing the bond. It's remarkable. Your life forces are completely intertwined now. But Zephyra, the archive is still killing you. The bond might have given you more time, but not much. Weeks, maybe a month." The reality of it settled over them like a shroud. Zephyra had saved Kale's life, but in doing so, she'd accelerated her own death, and now they would die together. Then we don't have time to waste. Kale stood, testing his newly healed body. "We get to Valoria. We download the archive. We save your people's legacy. It's not that simple." Zephyra pulled up a holographic map of the galaxy. Valoria is deep in restricted space, heavily monitored by the Alliance. They've been searching for it for years. The moment we get close, they'll know. Then we need a distraction. Kale studied the map, his tactical mind, now enhanced by his bond with Zephyr's warrior instincts, already formulating a plan. Something big enough to draw their attention away from Valoria. "Like what?" Mira asked skeptically. Kale's smile turned predatory. "Like Commander Thorne thinking he's finally captured his prize." Over the next few hours, they crafted an elaborate deception. Using the Wandering Star's communication array, they would send false signals suggesting Zephyr was heading toward the Outer Rim, far from Valoria. Meanwhile, they would use a captured Alliance shuttle, courtesy of their escape from Crixus Station, to slip through the military blockades undetected. "It's risky," Mira admitted. "If Thorne realizes the trick before we reach Valoria." "He won't. Zephyr said with quiet confidence. I know how he thinks. His obsession with the archive makes him predictable. He'll take the bait. They launched their plan at dawn, ship time. The wandering star jumped toward the rim, broadcasting just enough signal to be tracked, while Kale, Zephyr, and Mira transferred the Alliance shuttle, its transponder codes giving them access to restricted space lanes. The journey to Valoria took 5 days. 5 days of traveling to the heart of Alliance territory, every moment tense with the possibility of discovery. But the bond between Kale and Zephyr gave them an edge. They could coordinate without words, anticipate each other's needs, function as a single unit when challenges arose. On the second day, Zephyr began teaching Kale about Valoria, sharing memories through their bond that were more vivid than any hologram. He saw her home world, a planet of purple skies and silver oceans, where crystalline cities rose from living stone, and the air hummed with ancient songs. On the fourth day, Kale woke to find Zephyr collapsed, her purple skin pale and clammy. The archive was overwhelming her system, accelerating now that they were so close to its destination. We're not going to make it, she gasped, her body trembling. Kyle, ikan filit. The archive is trying to activate, but without the receptor site, it's just burning through me. He held her, pouring strength through their bond, even as he felt her pain as his own. One more day. Hold on for one more day. I don't know if I can. Then use my strength. He pulled her closer, their heartbeats synchronizing. We're bonded, remember? You carry the archive, I'll carry you. Tears slipped down her cheeks. I never should have involved you in this. You didn't involve me. I chose this. He kissed her forehead. I chose you, and I'd make the same choice 1,000 times over. On the fifth day, Valoria peered to the viewport, a jewel of purple and silver hanging in space, seemingly untouched by the war that consumed its people. But as they approached, Kale saw the truth. The planet was dead, its cities dark, its atmosphere thin and lifeless. They poisoned it, Zephyr whispered, her voice hollow with grief. After they killed my clan, they made sure no one could ever return. Valoria is gone. The receptor site, Mira said urgently. Will it still work? I don't know. It was built to interface with a living planet. Not. Zephyr's voice broke. Not a tomb. They landed near the coordinates embedded in Zephyr's genetic memory, a plateau overlooking what had once been her clan's capital city. The structures remained, but they were empty, silent, covered in the dust of abandonment. At the center of the plateau stood the receptor site, a magnificent arch of crystalline technology that still pulsed with faint purple light, powered by some ancient source that had outlived the civilization that built it. It's still active, Zephyr breathed, hope and heartbreak warring in her expression. After everything, it's still waiting. They helped her to the arch. Kale supported her weight as she grew weaker with each step. Mira worked to interface the ancient Valorian technology with her modern scanner, ensuring the upload would work. It's ready, Mira finally announced. Zephyr, you need to place both hands on the receptor nodes. The archive should transfer automatically. Zephyr turned to Kale, and through their bond, he felt the magnitude of what she was about to do. Not just transfer data, but pour out everything her people had been, into this ancient machine. It would save the archive, but the process would leave her empty, hollowed out. I'm scared, she admitted quietly. I know. Kale took her hands, holding them tightly. But you're not alone. I'm right here with you. Whatever happens, we face it together. The bond, she realized. If I empty myself into the archive, you'll feel it too. It could kill you, or it could save us both. Kale pressed his forehead to hers. Trust the bond, Zephyr. Trust us. She nodded, tears streaming freely now, and placed her hands on the receptor nodes. The arch exploded with purple light, brilliant and beautiful and terrible. Kale felt it to the bond. The archive flowing out of Zephyr, thousands of lives and memories and dreams pouring into the receptor like a river finding its ocean. He gasped as some of it flowed through him too, the bond acting as a conduit, letting him experience fragments of an entire civilization's history. He saw warriors and scholars, artists and engineers. He felt the joy of festivals and the grief of funerals. He experienced the moment Valoria was born and the moment it died. And through it all, he felt Zephyra, her strength, her love, her fierce determination to ensure her people would not be forgotten. Then, just as he felt her beginning to fade, beginning to be consumed by the transferer, something shifted. The receptor, recognizing the bond between them, began drawing on Kale's strength, using him as an anchor to keep Zephyra's consciousness intact even as she surrendered the archive. The process took hours or maybe minutes. Time lost meaning in the purple light. When it finally ended, when the last piece of the archive had been transferred and preserved, Zephyr collapsed into Kale's arms, utterly spent but alive. "Is it done?" she whispered. "It's done," Mira confirmed, her scanner showing the archive safely stored in the receptor's crystalline matrix. "Your people's legacy is preserved, and you're still here." Zephyra looked up at Kale with wonder. "The bond saved me. You saved me." "We saved each other," he corrected softly. They stayed on Valoria for 3 days, Zephyr regaining her strength, while Kale helped her say goodbye to her world. They walked through the empty cities, told stories of the people who had lived there, and planted a living memorial at the base of the receptor arch, a Valorian crystal tree that would grow and thrive even in the dead soil, fed by the same ancient power that kept the archive alive. On their last night, they lay beneath Valoria's purple sky, the stars brilliant overhead, and Zephyr spoke of the future. "The archive is safe, but it's not enough. Someday, someone needs to come here and learn from it to ensure the Valorian legacy lives on." "Then that's what we'll do," Kale said. "We'll find people who want to learn, who need the wisdom your people preserved. We'll be the guardians of the archive." Zephyr turned to him, hope blooming in her amber eyes. "You think I'd let you do this alone?" He pulled her close, feeling her warmth, her heartbeat synchronized with his. "We're bonded, remember? Where you go, I go. Always. What about your salvage business?" Salvage was just a way to keep moving, to avoid staying anywhere long enough to care. He kissed her softly. "But I'm done running. I found something worth staying for." Mira, listening from nearby, smiled. "So what now?" "We just become wandering librarians, spreading alien knowledge across the galaxy." "Something like that." Kale grinned. "Though maybe we should come up with a better title." "Keepers of the Archive," Zephyr suggested. "It's what my people would have called us." "I like it." Kale stood, pulling her up with him, both of them looking out over the dead world that had somehow given them new life. "The wandering star is still out there, waiting for us. We've got a ship, a mission, and each other. What more do we need?" Zephyr's answering smile was radiant. All traces of the haunted warrior gone, replaced by a woman who had found hope in the darkest of circumstances. "Nothing. We have everything." They left Valoria the next morning, the purple planet shrinking behind them as they rejoined the wandering star. Commander Thorne and the Alliance would continue searching for the archive, but they would never find it. Zephyr's genetic link was severed, the coordinates lost, the planet itself believed destroyed in the nebula explosion. The archive was safe, and so were they. Weeks later, in a small outpost on the edge of known space, Kale and Zephyr made their first contact with a group of refugee scholars who had fled Alliance persecution. Over cups of Bitter Station coffee, Zephyr began sharing stories from the archive, wisdom about conflict resolution, environmental stewardship, and the kind of honor-based society that seemed impossible in the current galaxy. The scholars listened with hungry eyes, taking notes, asking questions, finding hope in the preserved knowledge of a dead civilization. "This could change everything," one of them breathed. "If this wisdom spreads, if people learn from what the Valorians knew." "That's the hope," Kale said, his hand finding Zephyr's under the table, their bond humming with shared purpose. "One conversation at a time, one person at a time. We rebuild what was lost." Later, in the privacy of their quarters aboard the Wandering Star, Zephyr pulled Kale into her arms, kissing him with all the passion and gratitude and love that the bond amplified between them. "Thank you," she whispered against his lips, "for not letting me go, for choosing me when it would have been easier to walk away. There was never another choice. Cale replied, his hands tangling in her dark hair, his heart so full it ached. From the moment I saw you in that escape pod, my life stopped being about running and started being about finding you. Everything led to this, to us. They made love slowly, tenderly, the bond between them making every touch electric, every sensation shared and amplified. And afterward, as they lay wrapped in each other's arms with the stars wheeling past their viewport, Cale realized that he had finally found what he'd been searching for all those years. Not a home in any fixed place, but a home in another person, in Zephyra's fierce warrior heart, in her gentle touches, in the bond that connected them beyond death itself. "I love you," he murmured into her purple hair. "My alien warrior, my keeper of the archive, my everything." "I love you, too," she replied, her amber eyes luminous in the darkness. "My salvage captain, my savior, my home." Outside, the galaxy turned, vast and dangerous and full of possibility. Somewhere, Commander Thorne still searched. Somewhere, refugees needed the archive's wisdom. Somewhere, new adventures awaited. But here, now, in the quiet sanctuary of their ship, two souls from different worlds had found each other against impossible odds. And they would face whatever came next together, bonded, united, and utterly impossibly in love. The wandering star jumped to hyperspace, carrying its precious cargo of two hearts beating as one, heading toward a future they would write together. No one gets left behind. Not anymore. Not ever again. The end.